Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial will be showing how to make this bubu short gown dress with a bell sleeve and side pockets. Let's get started with this tutorial, guys. So guys, I'm gonna here to fold in my fabric into 4. So I'm using 2.5 yards of fabric for this tutorial. So I'm going to fold in my fabric into 4, and what I'll start doing now is to mark out my starting line. So this is my starting line here. I'm going to go ahead to mark it out. So guys, for my starting line here, I'm going to be taking in my length. So the length of this gown is 36. That is the best length for this gown, but if you are taller, you can add in few inches. So guys, from my starting line here, I'm going to mark out my shoulder, which is divided by 2, which is 7. You can see what I did here. From the top line, mark your shoulder divided by 2, which is 7, plus half an inch. This is what I added, 0.5. And from that 0.5 line, I came down by 1 inch to get my shoulder slope. So right now, I'll be connecting it to the tip area here to form a shoulder slope. So do yours the same way with your own measurements. So guys, after I'm done with it, I'll go ahead to mark out my armhole. So from that 1 inch I came down, I'll be marking in my armhole, which is 7.5. Then I'll go ahead to rule a straight line. You can see what I'm doing. Divide your armhole by 2 and mark it out. Mine is 7.5. So I'll go ahead and rule a line around this area here. You can see what I'm doing. It's not like I'm measuring it. So I'm just going to rule a line like this before I take in my bust measurements. So right now I'll be taking in my bust. My bust is 10 inches here. Marking out 10 inches for my bust. Then you can add 1 inch sewing allowance to the bust area. I added 1 inch sewing, and I can also add 1.5 if you decide to add it. So this is my sewing allowance, and you go ahead to mark out your armhole measurements. So for my armhole measurements, I'm going to go ahead to divide my armhole line into 2. That's what I'm doing here. Then I'll come in by 0.5 inches, which is half an inch. And then for the back area, I'll go out by 0.5 inches. You can see what I'm marking out here. The second one that I marked out is for the back. Then here, I'll be going out by 1 inch. You can see what I'm doing here. So this first line I'm marking out now is my armhole line for the front. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This first one is for the front, and this second one here is for the back. This one I'm marking out here is for the back. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just trying to curve it out here. So go ahead and curve yours the same way, or you can just use the front armhole to cut out both of the back if you cannot do this. If you cannot do it this way. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is from my shoulder line here, I'm going to mark out my waistline, which is 17 inches. After marking out my waistline, I'm going to go ahead to rule it. You can see what I'm doing. So do yours the same way. So guys, after marking this out, I'll come over to my half length and mark out my hip. So mark out your hip at the half length. My hip is 10 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance to this. Just add extra 2 inches to your hip measurements. Then mark it out at your waistline. So right now I'm just trying to curve this back armhole very well. You can see what I'm doing. So from the armhole line, I'm going to connect to the waist measurement and to the tip of the full length measurement. Hope you can see what I'm doing. So this is the way you will be cutting it out. You can see what I just did. Go ahead to just rule it like this. Just rule it, and then you go ahead to mark it to the tip area. You can see what I'm doing. To the tip area of the full length measurement, where your full length stopped. That's where you'll be connecting this line. You can see what I'm doing here. So you can see it clearly, guys. This is what you should do. So for the neckline here, I'm marking out my back neckline. So the width of this back neckline is 3.5. You can see what I just marked it. Then come down by 1.5 for the depth. That's what you do. Then you go ahead to use your pattern cup of freehand to just connect it. I'm actually using pencil for this because this is actually my fabric, and this fabric is very soft. If you want to make this, you can use your crepe fabric, those designs that are people are actually using right now. Or you can just use your simple fabric to just do it for the first time. So for the front neckline, this is what I'm going to do. Come down by 3 inches For the front neckline, 3 inches is the depth neckline. So then you go ahead to connect it to the 3.5 inches. You can see what I'm doing here. So guys, after I'm done with this, from that 3 inches for the front, I'm going to come down for the front slit. That shape that look like a V by 4 inches. You can see it's the front slit. I'll come down by 4 inches. You can see what I just did here. And I'm going to go ahead for this waist area. I'm going to go ahead to just make it a curve. No, curve it out. It's not, our waist is not actually this straight. So I just decided to just curve it out a little. You can see what I did there. Then I'll go ahead to start cutting it out. Before I cut it out, I wanted to go check, cross-check the length measurement to know what I'm doing. I wanted to cut out a little way from where I actually marked out as the length. So you can go ahead to do yours the same way. So I'm cutting out both the front and the back at the same time. So you can see what I'm doing here. So first of all, I'll go ahead to cut out the back armhole. Sorry, cut out the back armhole first. Cut out the back neckline first. You can see what I'm doing. So guys, at this area here, I want you to pay attention here. This is what I'm going to be doing at this tip area so that we can have that full circular effect. So right now, go ahead to measure your down area here. You can start to measure. I have 17 inches around that area. But so after measuring it, I went ahead to come up from the tip area. I came up by 1.5 inches. Came up by 1.5 inches here at the tip area here like this. You can also come up by 2 inches or 1 inch. 2 inches is the highest you can come up, so don't actually go up to more than 2 inches. Then go ahead to just curve it out to the middle area of the gown. You can see what I'm doing. So do yours the same way. Then when you are done, you go ahead to just cut it out. Look at what I'm doing, and do yours the same way. Go ahead to just cut out that area. So guys, after I'm done, this is what it looks like. You can see the effects around that area. So right now I'm going to go ahead to take out the back from the front so that I can cut out the front neckline. So do yours the same way. Take the back area away from the front and then cut out the front neckline. So guys, I need you to pay attention around this area. Look at what I'm doing here. I'm going to cut out this front neckline like this. And then I'm going to go ahead to cut out the armhole area. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead to cut out the front armhole area. That's why you need to cut out the back first before you cut out the front. So guys, I remember that I marked out 4 inches here from this front area for the slit. You can see what I did here is 4 inches. So mark out 4 inches there for the slit. Then just go ahead and cut it into 2. That's what you'll be doing here. Just look at what I'm doing and do yours the same way. So you have to be careful here so you don't make any mistake. So after cutting it out, this is what it's going to look like, guys. And see what I'm talking about here. This is what the slit is going to actually look like. This is what it looks like, guys. So guys, right now you need to mark out for the pockets. So the pockets from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 6.5 inches from the waistline. That's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to mark out the same thing for the back area. So guys, right now I need to mark out my sleeve. So for the sleeve, I went ahead to mark out the starting line first. This is what I'm going to be doing here. You can see what I did. Then from that starting line, I'm going to go ahead to mark out my sleeve length, which is 25 inches. So guys, because I'm making a free sleeve here, this is like a free sleeve. So I know that when I'm sewing it, I'm going to cut out some allowance from it. So I'm just making a free sleeve. So you can go ahead and make yours the same way like this. It's not going to be very difficult for you, especially for beginners. So after marking out my sleeve, I'm going ahead to mark out 10 inches here for my armhole. Let's mark out 10 inches for the armhole, and then mark out, come down by 5 inches here. And this area here, mark out 3 inches. That's what I just did here. So mark out 3 inches at this area here. So this is going to help us to make our curve line. Then you go ahead to mark out this X-shaped line here. So I'm just trying to mark out this line in a straight line. Then go ahead to mark this place too in a straight line. That's what I did here. Then from this, from the tip area, just go ahead to mark out this like something like a S shape. You can see what I'm doing. So go ahead and do yours the same way. This is a free sleeve, so go ahead and do yours the same way. It's very simple. So after marking it out, you can see what mine looks like, so you can mark out yours the same way. So for the flare of this sleeve, I'm marking out 15 inches. For the flare of this sleeve is 15 inches. Then I go ahead to connect it. I hope you can see what I just did right now. So the flare area is 15 inches. Go ahead to mark it out. Then go ahead to connect it like this, the way I'm doing it. So mark it out like this. So guys, after I'm done, I went ahead to cross check this area here, and I still have 15 inches for the flare. Then I went ahead to mark out the flare area for this sleeve. So this is what you're going to be doing, just the way we did for the gown. So go ahead and go up by 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So I went up by 1.5 inches around this area. You can just go up by 1 inch or 1.5. Then go ahead to connect it to the middle area, just like the way I'm doing here. Go ahead to connect it to the middle area. So it's going to be simple for you, both for beginners and intermediate. Anybody that makes this sleeve is going to be very easy for them. That's why I made this sleeve like this. So go ahead and make yours the same way using your own measurements. Don't forget to use your measurements to make this sleeve. So this is what my sleeve looks like. You can see what it looks like here. Then I'm going to go ahead to cut out another sleeve. So I have 2 pieces of sleeves here. Then for this middle area here, so go ahead to notch this middle area. That will be easier for you. Then the next thing I want to do is to cut out my facing. So this is how I cut out my facing. I fold 2 fabric into 2. I went ahead to cut out the 2 facing for my both for the front and the back fabric. And so what I did here, just go ahead and cut out facings for the front and the back. So for the pocket area, I went ahead to mark out 7 inches here. The top, I went ahead to mark the 7 inches for the top area like this, and then I came down for the length. I marked out 8 inches. Mark that 8 inches. So later on, I decided to add 1 inch to the 8 inches. That means 9 inches. So for the length of this sleeve, I'm using 9 inches and the width 7 inches. Then I went ahead to come up by 1 inch here and made a curve. That's what I just did. Come by 1 inch at this area, made a curve, and then go ahead and cut it out. This is what you'll be doing here. You're cutting out 2 pieces of this for the both side pocket. That's the reason why you'll be cutting out 2 pieces. So I went ahead to cut out, this is the first piece, then later on I'll cut out the second piece. So guys, let's get into the sewing of this gown. So I'm going to be using my facing to turn this front area. That's what I did here. Place your facing here and then go ahead to pin it down. That's what I'm doing here. So go ahead and pin yours down. When you're done, this is how you're going to be sewing it, like this. This is how you're going to sew it, like this, like this, like this, like this. So for the back, this is what you're going to be doing here. You can see what I just did. So right now, this is for the pocket area. So remember that I marked out from the waistline, I went down by 6.5 inches. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the pocket area. I'm going to take one side of the pocket and I'll start pinning it down. For those that don't know how to make a pocket here, This is what you're going to do. Or if you don't need a pocket, just go ahead to and continue sewing. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going ahead to pin it down. That's what I have here. Pin down one side. So do yours the same way. Then take the other pocket and pin it down the other side. After pinning it down, I'll go ahead to stitch this area that I pinned down here. So guys, I'm going to have to stitch this area here. This is the pocket. I'm going to have to stitch it down, and this is what it looks like here. The slits after sewing it, this is what it's going to look like, guys. Make sure you leave the shoulder area open like this. You can see what I have here. This is what it looks like, guys. And then this is the back area for the neckline. I'm going ahead to do it. So this is what it looks like. So make sure you leave it open, the shoulder area. This is how you're going to be joining the two shoulders together. So I need you to pay attention here. So go ahead to open the shoulder for the back. You can see what I did the shoulder for the back like this. Open it up, then take the shoulder for the front, including the one for the both the front and the back with the facing. That's what I'm trying to say. Open it up like this, then join them together. That's what you're going to be doing here. So go ahead and do the same thing. Look at what I did. Open these parts like this together. Put them, make sure they're in the same line. They're in the same line like this. Can see what I'm doing. Then go ahead to use your pin to pin it down. This is what it's going to look like when you are done. So you're going to go ahead, this is what it's going to look like. So make sure that you make yours the same way. Then just go ahead to run a straight stitch and close it up. So this is it here, like this is what it's going to look like when you are done sewing. Make sure that you sew it the way I actually showed you right now. So go ahead and do yours the same way. I'll go ahead to sew it together like this. This is how you're going to sew it. Hold it up like this and run a stitch like this. Do the same thing to this other side. So guys, after making it, this is what it looks like here. This is what the neckline looks like, and see how beautiful it looks. So go ahead and do yours the same way. So right now I'm going to go ahead to join the other side of the sleeve. This is the sleeve right now, guys. So we are going to be joining the sleeve before we close it up. So make sure that, remember that we notch this sleeve, the middle of this sleeve. So that's what you're going to be doing. The middle area, this is it here like this. Then you're going to go ahead to place it to the shoulder line. That's what I'm doing. Place them together, pin it down, and you're going to go ahead to be sewing it out. So this is where you're going to sew it. So if you are done sewing it and you have any excess allowance, you can cut it out. So guys, I'll go ahead to stitch this like this, and also repeat the same thing to the other shoulder. Make sure that you do it the same way I'm doing it. It's going to be easier for you to sew. So go ahead and do it. So right now, guys, I'm going to go ahead to stitch my pocket to the other side of the fabric, to the other side of the gown. So I'm going to go ahead to stitch it out. So this is what I'm going to do, just the way I did for the back. I'm going to do the same thing for the front. So look at it like this. I'm going to go ahead to pin it from that area that I marked out. Remember that I went down by 6.5 inches from the waistline. After you are done, go ahead and sew it. That's what I'm doing here. Go ahead and stitch it out first. Then when you're done stitching it out, this is what you're going to do next, because you're almost done making this dress. This is what you're going to do next, guys. So after stitching that area down, this is how you're going to fold your fabric like this. Look at it very well. You're going to go ahead to sew this area. Remember, so I want to sew them together. That's why I'm doing this. I don't want the video to be too much. So this is how you're going to be sewing it, guys, like this. Remember, this is what I'm going to use. This is how I'm showing you. So this is what you're going to be doing. Don't forget to use your allowance to sew it. So from this area here, I'm just going to go ahead to fold this area here, which is a down area. I'm going to fold it, and also around this sleeve area, go ahead to fold it first before you joined the two sides, the sleeves. So this is what it looks like, guys. After sewing, this is what my gown looks like. You can see that it's very simple to sew. You can see how it looks like. So go ahead and sew. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, put on the notification bell, like, share. Tell me what you think about this video. See you in my next video. Bye.